Good afternoon. I am Andrea Chisholm with the Midday News. Special welcome if you're watching on onespotmedia.com. A reminder as well that you can download our One Spot Media app in the Google Play Store or the App Store. That's the number 1 followed by the words Spot and Media. The National Parenting Support Commission has intervened in the case involving the woman who was seen beating her child and threatening her daughter in the latest video to hit social media. Chief Executive Officer of the Commission, Casey Akar, says that contact has been made with the woman and she is now receiving counseling from the organization. A 6-minute and 12-second video, some sections a total nightmare. A small child, perhaps 6 or 7, inside what appears to be a bedroom, lying on a carpet, being hit with a belt all over her body by a woman she called Mommy. Added features, fists to the child's head and other parts of. Now, in the 6-minute video that you saw earlier, the little girl was seen lying on a carpet in a bedroom, being hit with a belt all over her body. The woman also hit the child in the head, pinched her and slapped her several times. There were also threats of murder. Based on the video, it appears that the child was being punished for being associated with the wrong company. The government has introduced a cess on the importation of coffee to the Jamaican market. Agriculture Minister Carl Samuda says it's to protect the reputation of the Jamaican coffee farmers.
Without fear or favor, without fear or favor, with the constitutional authority vested in me as the minister, I took the decision to implement a regulation that says from henceforth no coffee will be packaged and sold in Jamaica if it does not contain some Jamaican coffee.
Mr. Samuda says it would take some time before Jamaican farmers are able to satisfy the requirement.
But I hope that this will be an encouragement for the investors. The same investors who are investing in Blue Mountain coffee to invest in High Mountain coffee and use that to blend with the Blue Mountain so that we will have a totally Jamaican coffee brand. Anybody who for a moment entertains the thought that through some means or another they can circumvent this regulation, the fine and the consequences will be very severe, because the Bureau of Standards will be conducting regular tests to see what is the nature of the composition of the coffee that is being marketed in this country and abroad.
The St. Anne Health Department says it had to close several basic schools within a 2-month period as part of vector control activities. The team says it has increased surveillance to clamp down on vector-borne diseases. Here's TVJ's Shamela Mitchell with that report.
With Jamaicans experiencing a lot of rainfall over the past few months, the St. Anne Health Department decided to step up vector control activities in the parish. Just last month alone, over 700 properties were inspected, 270 of which have been found to be positive for mosquito breeding sites. According to Medical Officer of Health for the parish, Dr. Deborah Ware, they were specific in targeting certain areas where the environment lends itself to breeding sites. Business places and schools were some of those areas. Dr. Ware says as a result of the inspections, 3 basic schools were closed between September and October. She says the infrastructure at these schools puts children at risk for vector-borne diseases.
It could be simply ensuring that the surrounding, the yard, the area is debushed, that there is no solid waste in close proximity, because where you may have the solid waste, you will have vectors breeding, and this can affect the community students at this basic school.
Dr. Weir says because the parish is known to do a lot of water storage, they have to step up vector control to prevent breeding sites. However, they can't do it alone.
This would include identifying or breeding sites for the mosquitoes. You know the vector that is responsible for the transmission of the diseases that we have seen quite a few of in the previous years. Zika, dengue, and chikungunya is the Aedes aegypti mosquito, which is found throughout the length and breadth of the island and the parish.
Dr. Weir is encouraging persons to use insect repellents and wear proper clothing to avoid being bitten by mosquitoes.
Procure nets for their drums, or if not, to simply put oil, make a layer, a film of oil on the water surfaces, and this will help significantly. For our part in the health department, we continue with the surveillance and monitoring the communities, treating sites that we find that are positively breeding mosquitoes or are potential breeding sites.
Dr. Weir says the health department is currently distributing bed nets to pregnant women to also avoid being bitten by these mosquitoes. Shamela Mitchell, TVJ News.
J. Ray and Nephew has joined forces with 2 municipal corporations to improve the Scotts Cove vending facility. Stakeholders say it will bring more business, including tourists, to the area. Customer and marketing manager at J. Ray and Nephew, Lalika Barnes, says the company decided on the move as part of efforts to support entrepreneurial activities.
No, so now get benefit down here. What I say? Go and work, let me see you, man. Let me see how good you can steam fish.
New roof, new structures, all of that will be included. And what we recently decided to do is put in a few benches so persons can, accommodate persons towards the front of their stall so persons can eat.
Knowing that we are going to get better bathroom, seating area, better staff, it makes me happy.
The mayors of the 2 parishes bordered by Scotts Cove welcomed the initiative, saying it's a major boost to business opportunities and development.
It will work for them, that they can send their children to school, because, I know several people here who send their children to university just from selling fish right here. And I would love to see that continue.
They are hoping to restart the Appleton Rum Tour, as it was called. I think they rebranded it with a different name, but it was called in the old days. And this now can become part of that attraction in terms of tourists coming up. It will be more inviting to stop there.
A family of 6, including 3 disabled persons from Abrams in St. Elizabeth, is seeking help after fire destroyed their house last year. Since then, the family has been living in a 1-bedroom house with 1 bed and a mattress, and the small house leaks whenever it rains. TVJ's Krista Campbell has details.
An unpainted house in Abraham, St. Elizabeth, with features which raise questions as to whether it's even habitable. Yet 6 members of a family live here, and they have been doing so since their previous house burnt down in 2016. 3 of the family members are disabled, and together with the rest of the family share the 1-bedroom structure. The house has little in the way of furniture, with a bed and a mattress, 2 of the more distinguishing amenities. Daily chores such as cooking are done on the outside. Social worker Pamela Williams says since the fire, she has been trying to get a house for the family but has been unsuccessful.
They were all living there at the house before it burned down. But since it burned down, they have to occupy this little small space, which is very unreasonable. It's in a very poor condition. When it rains, it pours. They have to lean up their beds and all of that. And as you can see, the little house, it can't hold them.
The mother of the youngest of the 3 disabled family members, Faith Forbes, says since the fire it has been hard even though the family is on the poor relief program. She says she needs a job so she can help to better care for her family.
What me want now, sir? Want one job, sir, but me have no food now.
What kind of job you can do?
Washer, nobody can wash like me.
So why you not get a job in the community to wash?
No, this stopping job, me don't want that, sir. I can stop in and come in at hours and get my dad. I need this out, like, go and wash and coming back.
The social worker is appealing to the public to help the family.
I am appealing to those persons who are out there and can help, because things are getting real bad. And since Food for the Poor is slow in coming, I am asking anybody out there who can assist them in getting a place to live.
To help the family, call the social worker Pamela Williams at 427-6230 or 501-2200. That's 427-6230 or 501-2200. Krista Campbell, TVJ News.
Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says work is underway to renovate the elegant corridor in Montego Bay, St. James, ahead of a global tourism conference scheduled for November 27 to 29. Speaking at a function in St. James recently, Mr. Bartlett says the ministry is in the process of reinstalling street lights which were damaged along the corridor due to motor vehicle accidents.
What we're going to do after this is we're going to create an encasement. We're going to build along the planters a protective concrete arrangement and then soften it with foliage. So if you run off the road and hit, you're not going to hit the poles. You're going to hit hard concrete. But we're going to soften it with
He added that the work will be extended to the Montego Bay Convention Center where the conference is being held.
Convention Center itself, as you have noticed, is undergoing some renovation, more by way of look and feel, trying to mop areas, clean up areas, paint out areas that are in need of a facelift, and to look at the landscape. And we hope that all of this will be ready by Friday of next week, so that when the first set of delegates come in, we should be in pristine condition.
One woman is dead following a 5-vehicle collision in Unity Hall, St. James on Saturday. Dead is 72-year-old Monica Edwards, a businesswoman in the community. Mrs. Edwards was on her way to the market when her car collided with 2 coaster buses. According to reports, Mrs. Edwards and one of the coaster buses were heading towards Montego Bay, while the other was traveling in the opposite direction. While trying to avoid hitting the bus heading towards her, she collided in the other vehicle. She died on the spot. And in news overseas, Zimbabwe's ruling party has summoned its members of parliament to discuss the future of its leader, President Robert Mugabe, after a deadline for his resignation came and went on Monday. We go to the CNN for more.
Those sources telling us that the president of Zimbabwe, the 93-year-old Robert Mugabe, had agreed to some kind of deal to resign, that they drafted the letter even, and he had agreed on immunity for himself and his wife with the generals that have taken power in this country. But still, as you say, the deadline has passed that his party gave to him to resign, otherwise they will move to impeach Robert Mugabe. You had this bizarre moment on Sunday here in Zimbabwe, the entire nation watching the address that he did on state media, expecting, hoping, I have to say, for him to resign, flanked by his generals. He went on a rambling, sometimes repetitive speech where he did nothing of the sort. Robert Mugabe not resigning, a collective groan through this country, I think. Now it seems like that pressure is even building more, with the military on the streets, the party throwing him under the bus, and the activists and supporters in their thousands coming onto the streets this weekend in Harare. We were with them to a person, I have to say. They were calling for the leader to step down. It seems like every time this story appears to be resolving itself, Robert Mugabe digs in his heels, but I have to say his options are really running out very rapidly indeed.
And in sports, on a day where 9 goals were scored, Portmore United failed in their bid to regain the lead in the Red Stripe Premier League and were joined on points by UWI and Tivoli after Sunday's round of matches.
The battle of former champions Portmore United and Montego Bay United played to a goalless draw at the Spanish Town Prison Oval. The result left Portmore on 18 points, one behind leaders and defending champions Arnett Gardens, while Mabay inched up to 12 points but remained in 8th place. Now, after their poor start to the season, which saw them lingering at the base of the standings, Tivoli have steadily climbed up to be 4th on goal difference, also with 18 points. And they extended their unbeaten run to 5 games after outscoring neighbours Boys Town 4-2 at the Barbican Complex. And the informed Colorado Murray settled their nerves as early as the 7th minute, after which Andre Moulton doubled the advantage in the 36th. The Red Brigade, who are 11th in the table, got on the score sheet with a strike from Tariq Campbell in the 53rd minute. Junior McGregor restored Tivoli's 2-goal advantage in the 90th minute, and deep into added time, Moulton made things safe with a second for Tivoli, who went 4-1 up. Garfield Gillespie pulled another back for Boys Town late in the proceedings to make it 4-2.
Playing away and get maximum points with scoring 4 goals is always a plus. I thought that it was very competitive, especially in the first 45 minutes, where Boys Town came out and gave us a real run. Nevertheless, we managed to withstand the pressure and managed to score 2 goals in the first half, and score 2 goals in the second half. The team eventually offensively started to get it right, which is a plus going forward.
We played very periodic today. I think we didn't play well and late into the second half. We gave Tivoli much too much respect in the first half, and they really created a lead in the first half. We came out with a little bit more passion in the second half, but it just wasn't good enough to win today.
Jermaine Brown ending that report. And that's the Midday News. I'm Andrea Chisholm. Do remember to join us at 7 for the Primetime News Package. On behalf of the News, Sports and Production teams, good afternoon.